first meet Michael Jackson, you're in awe. It's Michael Jackson.
I was with my brothers and sisters in front of the television saying, wow, that's amazing. Michael's coming on, Michael's coming on.
His moves are like words, and, he's like an encyclopedia.
He never embraced color. He never really cared about that, but he never forgot where he came from either.
His hugs were the deepest and most sincere, heartfelt hugs.
I loved him. I mean, you could tell in the first meeting that he was a genius. It didn't take much thinking to figure that out.
He was an angel walking the planet.
Love is magical. That's how I feel. But there are worlds and worlds of ways to explain. To tell you, I love you.
Michael was just the loveliest soul. And I always left having had an experience with Michael where I felt that I came out the other side looking at the world differently, looking at myself differently.
I would feel a little bit too like feel the world.
Yeah.
The first time I met Michael, we were in rehearsals for Remember the Time, short film. And it was very, surreal, cosmic, just felt very natural to me.
I worked a long time in the industry, and then I got to go with Michael. I learned a lot of things from Michael. And there are things that I use every day in my work and in my life. That's the kind of guy he was. He'd share things with you if you were interested.
He called me out of the blue. I think it was the late 80s. And my goddaughter was at the house and she answered the phone. And she screamed across the house, which is not uncommon in my household. Uncle Kenny, some guy's on the phone saying it's Michael Jackson. So I quickly grabbed the phone. I was like, hello, and it was that familiar voice. Kenny? And I was like, Michael, I'm so sorry. He was like, that's okay. It happens to me all the time.
One of my first memories was 1987 when he first came to the Smooth Criminal set. He walks over to me and he comes really, really close and he's looking at me and he goes, who did your makeup? And I said, I did. And he goes, I like your eyes. And I thought I was going to melt. That was my first encounter with Michael Jackson.
I got a call that I was on the short list for Michael. He was looking for musical directors. I went down, got on the keyboards to start playing, and we're waiting for Michael. And MJ comes in, and as soon as he comes in, I'm playing, he just starts dancing immediately. And then he starts singing, and then we stop, we hug, embrace, talk a little bit, and play some more, and I would ask him to sing things. He was so vibrant and passionate and happy. He looked great. He sounded great. We did a concert for about half an hour.
So it was different sound.
Yeah. I'm just doing that now. I met him, and he didn't speak a lot. He was very shy, and a lot of people know he is, And he's always smiling at me and bowing to me and saying, that was great. Over the years, he got more comfortable enough to speak with me more and spend some time with me.
All the dancers were like starstruck. I don't know how else to put it. It's easy to do.
But at the same time, within seconds of meeting him, he was a sweetheart. He was an absolute sweetheart and just a good guy. So I think that barrier got broken very, very quickly, and he was a very approachable man.
I remember early days when I was walking through the corridor of center staging, and this was just after I auditioned, and I was walking down there, and it was Michael and his bodyguard, and I didn't know whether to run into the nearest room and hide, because I was like so nervous, or say hello. And so I just said to myself, I'm just going to say hello and see what happens. So I went up to him and I said, oh, hi, how are you? And he goes, oh, really good. And he grabbed my hand and shook my hand. And he said, God bless you, I'll see you soon. And made me smile. I was just happy for the rest of the day.
Awesome.
The first concert I did with him at Madison Square Garden, throughout rehearsal, he would have these loud sonic hand claps. And me and Jonathan would be like, wow, these claps are loud, man. I mean, I can't even hear it. They're that loud. And do you know, I was so thankful for those hand claps because the first night at the Madison Square Garden, there were so many people screaming. I couldn't even barely hear myself. To hear actual time and meter, I was thankful for those hand claps. Obviously, he would know how it is in a live experience.
I want to be starting something. I played this little funky solo, and he puts his arms around me. The day before he died was the first time that I actually, after I did the solo, I didn't go back to my station. I stood there and I looked in his eyes, and he looked back at me. And I mean, something went through me that was so powerful, and he smiled, and I smiled back. And it was the most powerful feeling in the world. I mean, happy feeling.
You see, they don't look that good anymore.
People probably don't think of him in terms of a funny person, but he was very, very funny.